welcome to Touch Base Daily. And my name is Ron Foster, and I am on with my wonderful buddy in crime, Mr. Chris Edwards. How's everybody
Good
doing
morning.
on this Trend Watch Thursday? Oh, what happened to that graphic? Why is that so large?
It is kind of big.
It is kind of big.
Well,
Where did that come from?
they're changing a lot of things in the background
Where did
for
that come from?
StreamYard. So that might be one of those things.
Oh, that is. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, let's go back.
That's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, look, they're all huge. What's going on?
That might be a setting you have to tweak.
I have to change. I have to tweak it all up. Holy
And
moly!
listen, they make these changes a lot of times. You don't know it until they will come out a couple days later and say all the things that they changed. But like they make them active a lot of times ahead of time.
And you know, StreamYard is under new management. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, the original people. They're gone.
They sold the
new
did they sell they sold the business?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's been that's why the prices went up.
Gotcha.
They went from $25 a month to $44 and change, $45 a month.
See, that's what I'm saying. We did the yearly subscription.
Yeah. So for all those people, that's why we need Patreon. That's why I'm always asking for Patreon members. You support what goes on here because I take money out of my profits to make sure that we are here today, every day with you guys. Yeah. So yeah, they went up from $25 a month to now $45.
That's crazy. Month. That's crazy. Yes.
But this is what I pay to be here with my wonderful community.
I mean, but here's the one thing I will say about them, though, at least, and I know this isn't bringing us any comfort, but at least they're constantly adding new features and things to keep you ahead of the curve. But that's a lot.
I like the new graphic a little bit. It's kind of large, but I like it. So anybody want to join the Patreon community, there it is, www.patreon.com. Ron Lewis Photos. That's how this is not done for free. We take time out of our schedules. We take time out of our day. Every day, every moment I'm spending with you, I am away from my work for photography. So every dollar every hour we're doing something is either making money for us or is taking money out of our pockets.
Yeah.
Everything in life, time. That's what time does. So if you are interested in supporting what we do here, you can do that. Join the Patreon community. Go to patreon.com at Ron Lewis Photos. I should say / Ron Lewis Photos. And I wasn't planning to do that, but since we ended up talking about, I just go with the flow. When it happens, it happens. But yes, StreamYard has gone up. So think about it, twice as much, almost pretty much.
Yeah, that's a little unheard of. It's, you hear people increasing prices and stuff like that, but like to double it.
Well, the same folks that bought Meetup did the same. They did the same thing to Meetup. Meetup used to be it was like 60, 70, 80 bucks, something like that.
I remember when Meetup was free.
Meetup used to be free. But now,
back in the day, yeah.
For my Meetup group, I pay $100 and I think it was $109 before. Now it's $200.
Wow.
These people, whoever this company is, like they're a corporate company, they search for all of these online apps and online companies that are really good at what they do. And then they're usually so good at what they do that these companies are in what's called a unique niche. Like StreamYard was unique in its niche because all the others had the same product, but they didn't have as many bells and whistles as StreamYard. And those other people were more expensive and StreamYard was less expensive. And so these people said, wait a minute, StreamYard gives you more than these guys. So now we're jacking up our price. But they do that with every company they purchase.
But though, this is no different than a lot of these venture capitals that are sitting there buying up newspapers and stuff like that. It's the same concept.
We want
them to monopolize and own everything and control it. I mean, it's honestly these individual businesses mean nothing to them besides profit. It's all about money. They don't care what business that these small companies that they're buying up are. It's about how much money can they make me. That's all it is.
Well, that's where we are, folks. So, guys, again, if you want to support, join the Patreon community and join at whatever level you do. Everything supports. If this platform gives you value, then please support it. Okay, now we're going into some hellos. There's some hellos in the building, and hey, my screen is not. Oh, I also lost the color in my background too. Look, it's black. Wow, they done.
You might have to reset it.
I gotta reset my page. What's going on
here?
here?
Like, question: your banner below and all your stuff, wasn't it in like a blue, and now it's all in gray? Or did you pick
it was always in gray?
gray?
It was always in gray, but it was always in gray. But the background was different. So, I mean, we got black for today. We'll go with the black today. Also, let's say hello to some folks. I see some people are in the building. There's a lot to talk about today, guys. So we're gonna be like having speed rounds. We're just gonna go through topics, speed rounds, hopefully. Okay, so here we go. Brian is in the building. Brian receives the gold.
He was in the room
Halloween.
early.
He's early. Brian,
like really early. And Hannah all these guys were early today.
That's right. And Aya usually is up there, but she's in second place. She's either in first or second. She says Grand Rising at Ron and everyone. RLP. It is Halloween. Happy Halloween, y'all. And third, but not least, as in getting the bronze
I like these
medal.
graphics.
I like the new graphics. I'm liking this. Hannah
it's huge. I think that's a setting you can fix, but it looks good.
Yeah, look at this. Hannah says, "Good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family." I like this. And then you have, because you can actually see people too, like when you have their names up. I mean,
if they had their image up, we had the avatar.
Yeah, look at Chrissy's corner. She says, "Good morning." Adrian is in the building. Adrian, I had a dream of Adrian. We got to talk. I can't keep up with Adrian. I can't keep up with him. Anyway, I keep saying that. He said, "What's up, everyone? Good morning." Yeah, but you can see people's faces much better, right?
Yeah.
I like the new graphics. Thank you, StreamYard. And I see.
Yeah, you paid for it.
Yeah, yes, yeah, I pay for it. So thank you for the improvements. Chris says, hit the like button. Exactly, Chris. She is our like it button guru supporter. Yes, everybody that's in the building should always be hitting the like button, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And we got Miss Kelly Yay is in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. And we have Miss G. She says, good morning. Headed to Weatherford, Texas for a food bank event. Okay. She's on the road. She's on the road. She's working this morning. She works hard for her money. Anyway, I won't say. And Elise is in the building. She says, good morning, Ron and Chris. And she is also in the back studio. We're going to bring her, she and Brian on in a moment. And
hey,
Charlene, I like the new graphic.
Before I forget, I watched Tuesday with you and the rest of the crew. Such a great show on Tuesday.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Such a great show on
community.
Tuesday.
Our community is really we have smart people in this community. Very smart people. I just get the chance to just kind of like
and passion. I love the passion more than anything else.
It was really good Tuesday, and then yesterday. Speaking of past shows, yesterday we had Michael Young, professional photographer Michael Young, and he was amazing yesterday. And a beautiful brother, as we in from the Christian world, as in the church world, he's a beautiful brother in Christ, a beautiful family, loves God, loves people, loves doing what he does, and such a prayerful guy, and just an amazing photographer. And what a blessing to have him on yesterday. And we got to talk, just chat it up, and it was wonderful. So if you missed yesterday's show, Check it out. Look at the repeat. You can always, that's what the beauty of YouTube is. You can always see it again. Janet is in the building. Oh, wonderful. Janet says, good morning, everyone. Yeah, look, now you can see the face. The face. You can see Janet's beautiful face. I'm loving the new graphics. Okay, and we have Bryson is in the building. Should I take a sip, or I can do this without my sip? What's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Happy Halloween, everybody! It's spooky season, and we're voted it. So that's from Mr. Bryson. Oh, good morning, Kimmy. Kimmy is in the building. And hey, Lisa's back in the building. And again, guys, Lisa, I'm doing a public invitation. Whether you choose to accept this invitation or not, you need to come on for an interview, or not even an interview, just a chat. Just come on so everyone sees your beautifulness, how wonderful you are, how your energy is so contagious. And let's talk about your book. Your book. Lisa has been working hard on her project, and her project is now being released into the world, and that is her book. And we're gonna talk about that. I hope she comes on, because she is so amazing. Okay, she says, wow, yeah, the graphics, right? And Elise says, good morning. Hey, Derek is in the building, and I stand humbly before Derek. Congratulations for your World Series win.
Dodgers.
The Dodgers won the World Series last night. Dog it.
It wasn't the Yankees' year.
It wasn't the Yankees' year. I thought we were going to get 2 Canyon hero marches this year.
Not this year.
Not this year. But thank you for the New York Liberty for giving us a Canyon parade. Canyon of Heroes parade. But Derek, congratulations for your win. The World Series champs, the LA Dodgers. Oh, that's good.
Begrudgingly saying that.
I'm just like the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees almost got taken out by 0 wins. So I'm glad they got 1 game on the board.
Yeah.
They
were outmatched.
Adrian says, welcome to the RLP IT connection. And he said, we see the color. And let's see here. Lisa says, bless you, Chris.
Thank you.
I'm ready for, Elise says, yes, I am ready for my vacation, Bryson.
At least you and me both.
Adrian says, we don't believe you, Ron. We need to see her for ourselves. People love Lisa. She's missed when she's not around.
I don't know why she has not come on here yet.
She needs to be on the panel discussions. We need to see Lisa all the time. But I know I'm respecting Lisa's
peer pressure.
Anyway, moving right along. And see how many people love Lisa? Lisa is loved. Look at that. Okay, let's bring the panel on. Good morning, Elise. Welcome aboard. Brian is in the building. Welcome aboard. Okay.
Good morning.
And whoever has their background noise up, please turn it down, because I am speaking and I can hear the echo. But can I also take a pause? I want to give a shout out to, oh my goodness. Man, I was at an event. It's called, oh gosh, let me see if I can bring it up without messing up my screen. Conscious Commons Collective, and they were so amazing yesterday. They hired me to photograph their event, and also, like I say, my when I do my event photography, which is what I do, event photography, and I get a chance to meet some of the most incredible people. So yesterday at this event, I had a chance to photograph the people, or the guests and the speaker, and I got to meet Sally Sussman, the Chief Corporate Affairs Officer for Pfizer, and her book is called Breaking Through, and it's communicating to open minds, move hearts, and change the world. This, I mean, she was so good. I got the book. I can't not wait to start reading it. And but the panel discussion was excellent. I should say interview, because she and the founder of the organization, and it was a great thing a great event to photograph. And shout out to Sally Sussman from Pfizer, and some of the stories she shared. I was like, wow. When you talk about the vaccine and all the stuff that was happening back then, man, and that puts me into the next thing. Look at this. Can I say I have a bunch of stuff here. So I'm gonna see how these headlines look on the page when I put them up, because the first thing I want to talk about is Trumpsters, I should say S, I should have the S there. Trumpsters acting badly. And I am totally, you can't make this stuff. I mean, this behavior is, and I don't want to call all Trump followers deplorables. That's not what I'm going to say. So I think there's something wrong with you, but that's another story. But I find that in the Trump camp, these folks are crazy. They are the ones who heckle at events. And I know there's Democrats and all the folks that do that as well. But there's something just really dark and sinister to their heckling. And so I was supposed to have this thing queued up, but there was some of you guys sent me the video of this Trumpster at the voting at the elect, going to vote, and they tell him he can't wear his hat because you can't wear anything that has something for
either political
affiliation.
Right.
And you have to be, it's very strict, because I know in New York you have to be like a certain amount of feet away from the polling place before you can even to have a T-shirt that says Kamala or whatever.
Have it.
But there are signs at most polling places telling you can't come into the building with this particular stuff. So it's not as though this person didn't see it.
Oh my gosh, he called the black. I mean, obviously the polls, the people working at the polls are black women, because black women hold it down, and he called her a B, tossed his hat, then tried to start a fight with them. And I'm like, what is wrong with these? But again, you see it for those that did not see the Madison Square Garden rally here in New York, these people, they are violent.
But they're told to be violent.
They are groomed to be violent. Wait. They are violent already. They just now have the excuse. They have, it's like this, bad. You'll see a bunch of kids on the street. Most of the kids who are probably walking down the street are just not going to do something badly.
Right.
However, if 2 or 3 of the kids, which are kind of like the ringleaders, do something badly, then they all join in.
Right.
From peer pressure, or then some of them just want to do it, but they were afraid to do it by themselves. But because they have the group, now they're going to do it.
Yeah.
herd mentality.
Herd mentality is crazy.
And they've had several of these things have been talked about in the news. And one man that punched a guy.
Yes.
The guy, they took the guy to the hospital. He was okay, but he got punched.
It's
for the same reason. They know they cannot wear the paraphernalia.
Let me tell you something, because I think I put it in our group chat, that out of everything I'm doing to help get future Madam President Kamala Harris elected, this is my first time as a poll worker. I'm going to be working a poll. That doesn't sound good.
You're going to be a poll worker, sir.
You're working a poll.
We got you.
Yeah,
this is not Atlanta. I'm sorry.
Clean family show, but my warped sense of humor. But all serious, I wish a mother would. Like, I'm pretty mellow. Like, I'll just use the example when at my brother's wedding, and we were, with the family and my parents, and we're all like getting dressed, whatever. And my oldest, I keep telling my kids, like, listen, I'm too silly to you guys, but if you knew my history before fatherhood, and I kept telling my oldest, because some of us, your son gets to a certain age where they look you eye to eye, they think they can take you, and I'm like, listen, go talk to my mom over there. You keep thinking I'm joking when I say I ran in the streets, I was in a gang, my mom like kept me out of jail, I did horrendous stuff that I'm not proud of. But don't let this corporate demeanor fool you. I'll take you out. And
there's a rough side of you, Mr. B.
So that's what I just said, like
the song says, try Jesus, not me.
On Tuesday, and for stories like that, and the two sisters in Atlanta who now own Rudy Giuliani's penthouse.
Yes.
I swear to God.
Yes.
I mean, I will try to be nonviolent, but like I tell Xavier, don't you ever throw the first punch, but you better throw the last, because if somebody touches you, all bets off. And even though that goes against what they're telling us in the training, but I'm like, look at here.
Are you teaching your son violence?
No.
They have to increase the security.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if it's teaching violence, but then self-defense.
Yeah, self-defense.
Yeah.
There's a difference between violence and self-defense.
And so
I ain't the one.
Well, I'm gonna bring it up because you guys sent this to me. Y'all were like, Ron, you gotta share this. You gotta share this. So I'm sharing it. And
all women.
Here they go.
Wow. Why is it defending you? It's like it's not the audience. Just shut the hell up and let me vote. Okay, we ain't got nothing else to say. Wow. There it is right there. Wow. Oh, wow.
They should have called the police and had him escorted out.
Wow.
They call someone.
She's trying to call the police right here in the woman on the left.
Wow. Wow.
But I don't understand why there's no police right there at the pole.
Wow.
The police aren't normally at the polls, but sometimes there are no men either. There are no men
here.
Let me tell you something though. The one thing that I love is the fact that this is all on video. It's recorded. Yes. All they need to do is submit this to the police and let them handle it.
And
I was like, this is crazy.
There's what you said, Ali. That's all the times I've voted. Midterms, it's predominantly women, and
yes,
and retired. It's predominantly Black. even in Oakland County, where Kamala's been, and here, in Michigan, which is it's pretty affluent, it's predominantly white, but when I go to the polls, it's predominantly black. And prayerfully that doesn't happen, but I'll be damn skippy if it does. I'm not going to let stuff like that pass. And like I just use the I know attorneys, but
what's crazy? I mean, that
that's just
video was
unbelievable.
representational of what happened. Well, not. I mean, the people that were at our polling stations. So we went to vote last week Friday, and all the poll workers were retired African American women. Every last one of them. It was one of the most pleasant voting experiences ever. We waited online for about an hour and 15 minutes, and everyone that came through was just so pleasant, and no one knows who's voting for who. I mean, I'm sure there were definitely some Trump voters in online, but you would not know. Everyone was just there just to do their part. Even like the poll workers were coming out just to see how everyone was doing in line, telling them roughly around how long the wait was. They were looking for elderly people that were standing in line. They would say, we've got seats inside for you to come sit down. We'll hold your place. So once the person in front of you comes in, we'll let you go and vote. And then you had some elderly people that were like, no, we just want to sit out here and enjoy the atmosphere. Everyone's really just nice and pleasant, and everyone's just having conversation. I don't understand why it can't be like that everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should just be able to go do your civic duty, in a relaxed environment, and then go home.
And follow the rules.
That's crazy.
He knew the rules, and then where the way it works here is before you even get into the room, they've already told you have to take that off.
Yeah.
They tell you how to take it off.
I had my hat, and
They
I had to take it off.
in.
They are very strict, and look, and I had my phone out, just kind of like answering emails. And she said, "Sir, could you please put that away?"
Yeah.
You can't have it. You can't even have. You cannot have your.
You can have your
phone
cell
out.
phone outside, but when we get to that door, please turn your phone off and put in your pocket.
Yeah.
Now, I did sneak and take a picture of my ballot though.
Ooh. Well,
my
you were
ballot.
also in your little area, right?
I was in my little area.
Yeah, you were in your little.
And I did paper ballots. I don't have time to play games with people.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. But this also happened, and I want to see if I can bring this up for you all. And this is from, I think. Let's see how this opens up.
And they've had instances when people who had on Kamala shirts. So I came with my Kamala shirt. They told me to turn it inside out. I did that and went on and vote. So they're just the opposite. They're not fighting. They turn it over, and once they're told the rule, they turn their shirts inside out and go vote.
Now, what is going on here? The burning ballot boxes.
That's so.
Again,
Oregon and was it Oregon and Washington State?
It's in Oregon and Washington, both states.
Yeah,
and they think it's the
Washington.
same person. They think it's the same person.
Yeah, I mean, it's close enough.
They haven't caught it. They haven't caught the person yet.
The lucky thing is in one of those burning cases, there was only 3 ballots that were destroyed, I believe, and they know who they were, so they were able to contact them. The other one, the box was burnt because in the first case there was a fire suppression system in the box that didn't allow it to burn. The second one, they've been trying to reach out to people. They said because they knew the last time that box was picked up. So they said, I think it was like 11:30 a.m. whatever day. They said if you had dropped off your ballot after 11:30 a.m. on this particular day, please reach out to us because they want people to be able to go back and to vote again because they don't want their right taken away by this person. So now you have to worry about people setting ballot boxes on fires. Most ballot boxes, they have cameras directed on them. Yeah. So, at least there's that.
Yeah, they have some photos. They think they have photos of the person or their vehicle. So that's what they're investigating. But I tell people all the time, I don't, DC ever since COVID, they automatically send you the ballot, but we don't even open it. And I just go and vote. I tell people all the time, if you're going to use those ballots, take it to the polling office, take it to the elections office, put it in the office. Don't drop them in these boxes. And then they had one video that I saw. It was from the last election. There was a woman out standing next to the boxes, telling people, "Oh, you can give that to me." And she had a bag. She was putting people's ballot, trying to encourage them to give her right next to the box. So
no, thank you, ma'am.
I was like, if you can go and vote in person, go vote in person, especially if you have early voting. And there are only 2 states that do not have early voting. And so there's no reason why you can't, if you're physically able,
if you can't
go vote in person. So go vote in person. If you don't want to do that, drop your ballot off, not in those boxes. Go drop it off at the elections office. Find out where that office is and drop them off in that office.
Here's something else. This was really interesting. This is from the folks at Don Lemon. I'm a Lemon head, so I check out Don every day. And this was interesting. Here we go.
Officials who are facing increasing threats as November 5th looms. NBC's Stephanie Goss joins us with that part of the story. Hey, Steph, morning.
Hoda, good morning. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security are warning law enforcement nationwide over a threat from violent domestic extremists. That's according to a joint intelligence bulletin reviewed by NBC News. Now, when voters go to the polls, they will likely see increased security because of that. Everything from more police, metal detectors, even bulletproof glass.
This morning, with early voting underway nationwide, a growing list of alarming incidents in the build-up to Election Day. Multiple ballot box fires set by incendiary devices in Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington, where hundreds of ballots were destroyed. Authorities say this suspect vehicle was spotted at both sites, but they haven't made any arrests.
Acts like this are targeted and they're intentional, and we're concerned about that intentional act trying to affect the election process.
In a Texas voting center where campaign materials are not allowed by law, a man allegedly assaulted an election clerk who told him to remove a MAGA hat.
I can't think of anything like this happening during my time here as sheriff, and I certainly hope to never see it again.
With election workers' safety among their concerns, state and local election officials tell NBC News they've put in a range of new security measures since 2020. There's bulletproof glass at the Harford County Board of Elections office in Maryland. The mailroom in Durham County, North Carolina, soon to be equipped with a panic button. And in Maricopa County, Arizona, snipers will be set up on the tabulation center's rooftop. Instead, mail-in ballots will be counted in this warehouse outside the city center.
Count all legal votes.
4 years ago, the count looked like this at the convention center downtown.
We will have a very heavy law enforcement presence.
City Commissioner Seth Bluestein says this time around, they have more control with gates, fences topped with barbed wire, and multiple checkpoints.
Do you feel like you need that security for this election?
Unfortunately, I think it's necessary. We have to be prepared for the worst case scenario.
Bluestein, like many election officials, faced violent threats in 2020 against himself and his family. Father of 3, moving his family elsewhere during the election.
It's really frustrating. Nobody can feel unsafe doing the job of counting votes.
And there you have it. Now, can you believe that this is America where we are today?
Yeah, and let me tell you.
You have to have a sniper?
Yeah, the snipers on the roof. So they already there. What that tells you is that their intel has told them that terrorists, the domestic terrorists, because they said extremists. Let's call them what they are.
Domestic terrorists. Yes.
Who they are, have threatened this site. So that's why they're doing all these things. The only reason you set up those types of extreme precautions is that you already know that these domestic terrorists have said they're going to target certain things. And of course, that's because of the infiltration. My thing is, you infiltrated these people. You refuse to call them terrorists because too many of your people who are working for you identify with them. And then you know who they are. And a big problem is that we know who these people support. And how do you continue to support a person who feels that this is okay? And I just, all of us don't kind of call the people who threaten and harm. I'm not going to call them anything but the terrorists that they are. They're terrorists.
Yeah. I just sat there and said, we have never had to do anything like what we're doing in our. I mean, this is so far-fetched. Again, people would say, if you would go back just 10 years ago before Trump and say this would be happening 10 years later. This is unreal that this is our country that we live in. And these people we live among, I should say, they live among us, these extremists that now you can't, now be a counter for the election polls, do the board or whatever.
Yeah.
The threats. I mean, this guy has to move his family out of town.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because of the threats.
From the terrorists.
From the terrorists.
I refuse to call them extremists. These are terrorists.
What comes across my mind, and what another angle that I marinate on is, how do we put that toothpaste back in the tube?
We can't.
You can't.
You can't.
It's done.
You see how messy it is.
Rhetorical, but I mean, after she wins, this doesn't magically just stop.
It doesn't go away.
The denialism, the doubt, the seeds beyond saying that they've been planted. No, they were planted, taking root, and we're seeing this. This is to me the descent. If he is elected, this is another chapter of the descent into fascism. You're calling into doubt having I do feel like it's brainwashed. A group
These
of
people
our
are brainwashed.
It's a cult.
It's a cult. They're brainwashed. They have lost
That's
their
what cults do.
Yeah, that's what cults do. So the next
they
thing
all
I
say
want
the
to
same
bring,
thing. I don't care if they're black, white, or whoever. They say the same exact stuff without. They're just only regurgitating what they're saying. Other people are saying whatever he says. They say, "Oh, she's not intelligent enough. She's not." What? This woman has more degrees and more experience,
more accomplishments than any other person who's run for president. For the office.
That includes Obama, Biden, everyone.
That's right. Everyone.
More experience, more, and she's a lawyer. She didn't get that by not being educated. So they regurgitate stuff, and I see young black people. Just so many people out here saying stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. But what I'll tell you is that when DC is going to be a very different place on January the 6th. The National Guard will already be here from DC, Virginia, and Maryland. They will be in the city.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be totally different.
Oh, it's going to be totally. The National Guard is going to be here.
What they're worried about though is now the state capitals. So the state capitals and just these lone wolves. I'm going to throw something out at you guys. Do you think the Puerto Rican Latino vote is going to affect the election from the fallout from the Madison Square Garden race rally?
I think so.
Rally.
I think I'm going to tell you why. Now, here's the thing: a lot of Puerto Ricans have some of them admittedly voted early, did mail-in ballots or early voted, but now what they're doing is going out and saying, "Hey, I made the mistake and early voted for Trump. Don't you make the same mistake and put your support behind Kamala Harris and Tim Walz." How can you sit there and bolster what this person said? And then, he's had a couple opportunities to say, "Hey, you know what? I disavow what this person said. This is not what the Trump campaign believes." He's just like, "Oh, I don't know who he is." I mean, it is so disheartening. It's so frustrating. It's so angering that this man, anytime that anyone that he is associated with, that he chooses, says something that gets him in trouble, the first thing he does is, "Oh, I don't know them." You run the same playbook. How do you people not see it? And it's not even that he does it. It's the fact that these people let him get away with it. And I have to agree with you, Ron, about CNN lately. The fact that Biden made a comment about the person saying that was garbage, and then they ran with it and compared him to Trump, his people. It's
they make you angry on CNN these days. I'm telling you.
It's like, how do you compare them?
the,
It's not even apples and oranges. It's like apples and dog shit. It's two different things.
And the fact
It's
that they
two
still,
different things.
right, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Chris, but the fact that they still aren't holding him accountable for what he said.
Yes, they say nothing about it.
And that's
This
the one
man
that's
showed up yesterday at another rally in a dump truck that he couldn't even open.
trash.
It was
garbage truck.
He couldn't even open the door to get in. Someone had to open it for him. And yet still, here he is playing up to what this man said, and no one's calling him on it.
The fact that they're playing it up, that's the part that gets me. The media, they have the one that's on Instagram, Political Girl, and she called him out on it. She said, first of all, Biden's not running. He said, but you don't call him out for what he is doing, what he is saying. And that's when they did show that clip of all the times he's called people garbage and all of this kind of stuff. He said it already. He said it before.
He says it all the time.
He says it all the time. He said
all
he called
time.
the whole piece where they do the thing.
I mean, his people are calling her pimp handlers and all types of derogatory names. And no one says anything like, oh, he's just being Trump. Yo, stop. Just stop.
But again, go ahead, Brian. Sorry, go ahead, B.
Oh, I was just so I want to remind people, everything. I didn't watch the so-called rally, but we're seeing these clips, and obviously for our Puerto Rican and Latino brothers and sisters, who may be offended by that, but still like, well, I'm still going to vote for him. And well, he's saying he had no clue. First of all, something like that was like a mini RNC, a miniature RNC.
Right.
Every single person that came up was vetted. Everything that was said was approved.
Right.
It was in the teleprompter.
And the fact that they greenlit Orange. You mean to tell me Convict Orange, who is a micromanager of every single thing? This is factual. You mean to tell me he plays? Don't try to sell me a bridge. He knew. And and I'll stop with this because they purged the vile word that this so-called comedian was going to call our current vice president.
Absolutely.
The word.
Right.
So you can't tell me. So you guys was like, well, that's a little extreme, but all these other things that you guys are good with, and now he doesn't have a clue. Listen, if he didn't come out and disavow it or distance himself within like right at that moment, how typical good, decent politicians would have done, you own it. Now it's yours. So
he had hours before he actually got on the stage, because that happened at the very beginning. He heard it. It had been circulating all around the internet. So by the time he got on stage, he had already heard it.
So the other thing,
he laughed about that, but I want to go back to what Brian always talks about: the Puerto Ricans or Latinos who was until you understood that they're talking about you. These are Puerto Ricans like, I'm American, so I don't have to worry. Yes, you do, because you still need funding for your home country. They're not gonna, when they start doing stuff, they're not gonna care where you actually are from. And half of them don't even know that that Puerto Rico is a part of America. But they have, and then it's all of that thought of, oh, it's not gonna happen. Yes, it is. It's gonna happen to you. Yeah, they said what they said about you when they constantly talked about you. He's talked about you in the past. He's going to continue talking about you, and he's already said that this man said out of his mouth to people, "I don't care about you. I just want your vote."
Yeah,
he said, "I don't care."
Well, same thing with not to talk about the Christians. Hey, you'll know how to vote again. I mean, he's telling you exactly what he wants. So my thing is, I do believe the Puerto Rican Latino vote. I may have to say that we had a lot of October surprises. But this one, I think, is going to gain traction. I mean, I'm looking at the news reports of what's going on in Jersey here in the Northeast. Seeing what's going on in Pennsylvania. The great thing about Don Lemon, they were on the road and they went out and it was, asking people what they felt about it. I think because the Puerto Rican community is a strong and tight-knitted community. I mean, they, this, like in New York, and like again, a guy was raised with I have a lot of Puerto Rican friends growing up and still have lots of Puerto Rican friends. I even asked my friends, I was like, hey, what do you think of this? And they are hurt. A lot of my Puerto Rican friends are really hurt by what was done at Madison Square Garden. Now, there are some that say, hey, I don't care. I'm still going to vote for Trump. I still am going to vote for Trump. I'm still with Trump. There's some of them.
Right.
But as a majority, I really do believe it's going to show in the voting on next Tuesday. I think people are saying, wait a minute, I'm so glad I didn't vote early because now I can make the change. Because there was one woman that they interviewed on Don Lemon interviewed yesterday, and he asked her, how do you feel about this? And she said, because she was going to vote for Trump, which still blows my mind that people that want to vote for Trump, I just can't understand. How could you be a person of color? But after that incident, after the remarks, after the prejudiced, racist remarks, she says she is now swaying towards Kamala.
Have you no decency? And
it just freaks me out. But I want to also bring attention. This is for everyone, but this was really good the other night, and I don't know if you missed it. I saw it, and I was here. We go. BET Black Men's Summit. Man, I was so happy to see this. I mean, let me see if you guys can hear it. I'm gonna get this all queued in.
This time for us, it may actually be true. When was the last time America asked black men what we wanted? And I know what it's like to not be asked what you want. I'm married to a black woman. But I promise you, it's not a trick question. Tonight, we're going to explore the issues that matter to us. Now, whether you support Kamala, ride with Trump, or plan to stay home, let's have a real conversation among us, black men, about what's really at stake in this election. This is the BET Black Men Summit. Let's get to it.
Black men, as you know, are close.
It was so good. And if you have not seen it, this link will be also in the description. I always put all these links in it. So make sure you see it. Listen to the panel discussions. Listen to the reactions in the audience. There is also a Trumpster that's in the audience that they react to. But this was so good. This was, and so so I'm reading through the comments. I'm that guy that goes through, and then after it's over, I go through all the comments and start reading them again.
It's a lot of comments.
There's a lot of comments, and there were some Trumpsters in there saying, I'm still voting for Trump no matter what. I don't care. Blah 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 blah. Trump, Kamala ain't do nothing for me, and black ignorance. But most of the people were like, we need to do this often, not just do this for the election. Right. This BET, I hope they take notes that this is something that should be done maybe once a month or every quarter. I don't know how they can work it into there, because you really do need to understand the pulse of black men in the black in the black community. It was really well done. And what was the most moving of the night is when they were sharing about you have Crump, who talks about, the lawyer talks about, he's on the case of the young lady that died
in
Georgia. And he shares in detail what happened to her. The men in the audience are in tears. And it is so moving. And then you see the men. And this is why you can't believe the media. The media paints Black men in such a negative way. And these Black men were in solidarity to protect Black women. It was a powerful, I mean, all of it was powerful, but that segment of their devotion to protect Black women and their sense of calling to protect Black women was absolutely beautiful to watch and to listen to. Did anyone check it? Did anyone get a chance to see it?
I did. I watched it. I watched it because Kenny Burns was one of the people that were.
Yes, Kenny Burns did a lot of interviewing. Yes.
So he kind of he interviewed people on the street and everything. So I watched it, and there are people need to go and watch it because there's some powerful statements made by a lot of the gentlemen on there. I'm trying to roll back in my head. Michael Ealy made a good point, but I can't remember it right. That's off the top of my head. But I think one of the things was that it showed you who the majority of Black men are.
Yes.
And because we have to stop letting media do the narrative of showing that the majority of Black men aren't violent people out here committing crimes all the time. That's not what's the majority that's happening in our communities. And I think it did a great job of that. And then them emphasizing women's health, their reproductive health, not just talking about an abortion, but what can happen to women as a result of all these things. And I think it was great that they focused on that and holding each other accountable.
Yes.
Asking real questions that you don't hear people always ask those questions of each other.
I was going to add what Elise, I think I consistently say the media is complicit.
Yes.
In a lot of, I'll just leave it there. Put that on a shirt. The media is complicit. Just think about that. And I feel like I will put all of us in this, truly all of us, the subtlety. And if we're not careful, it's like you don't realize you've been got. And I said, when I go back to when I stood 20 feet away from President Biden when he was here before he stepped down, and I was at the rally after the horrible debate, and the president that I stood and saw and could look eye to eye, and I'm like, that is not the same human being. That's not the same president that the media has been saying he's like. Yes, he's older, but he was quick-witted. He was sharp. He was on it. And I stood there and I'm like, damn it, they got me, because I didn't realize that all that stuff.
They get us. I mean, the media
is complicit in this narrative of black fathers. I love when you had oh crap. Xavier's got a half day today, which I didn't know about. So that's my alarm. I gotta go get him. But I'll just stop with this. But like yesterday, the photographer that you had, no relation,
Michael Young.
Yeah, but when that image of the Black father with the daughter,
yes,
that made me. I don't know, that hit me a certain way, because I just do what I do as a dad. Right. But I think specifically all the Black men in my circle who are great dads. And that's just something I don't know if I just take for granted. So how the media portrays Black men, shame on them. And I'm going to hold myself accountable. I have to be aware. I feel like we all have to be aware when we're watching something that we know is not factually true. It may be true for a percentage, but I believe that there is a higher percentage of Black men who are riding with Kamala than who
I know there are.
It's
a huge percentage.
It's a huge percentage, and it makes even and again, this is how the media spins stuff. Even if there's 2 or let's say 5% people, Black men that are voting for Trump that didn't vote for Trump last time. There are so many white men. They don't say this. White men are voting for Kamala.
Yes.
They don't say that part. And when you got this long list of historians, Republicans, what do you call it? Independents, generals, ex-presidents. I mean, you got all of these people that are white men that have way more higher percentage going for Kamala than they went for Trump last time.
Right.
So it's all how the media spins it. And it makes me so angry that they spin it and that people can't see through it.
That's why I made the video I made about,
like Trish says, more women are voting for Kamala.
And fathers in co-parenting situations, especially Black fathers, because people don't think about the amazing job they're doing. The majority of Black fathers are doing an amazing job.
Amazing job.
We keep allowing the media control things. Even the Black man that stood up with the Black Men Summit in support of Trump, they all repeat the same thing.
Yes.
All misinformation they've gotten from
yes.
some place that they haven't even, you can appear intelligent, but you're not even taking the time to find out information. And then, so you regurgitate something and you're not even found it half the stuff. If you're still at this point repeating that Harris locked up thousands of Black men, then you definitely haven't been looking or reading.
Yes.
Then not talking about the program she put in place.
Yes.
You out of jail. And then if you are, and so we have to look at that. We have to ourselves, and I've said forever that the media is complicit.
Yes.
I've been saying it since I really started talking more about politics in 2020. They're complicit because they're owned by rich white men.
Yeah.
And they put people strategically in place from CNN.
Boom, boom.
Who were former employees of Rupert Murdoch's. They had put them in the Washington Post, who are formerly from, the man came over here from the British office from Rupert Murdoch for the Washington Post. So they strategically placed these people into the media companies, and that's why everything is being suppressed, or it seems so skewed. And then you have people who sit on these platforms as the moderators of these conversations. And I'm going, yeah, but you need to say something. You need to not sit there like a knot on a log and allow these people to put out misinformation. You got to fact check your own guess. But I think we know for a fact that the majority of Black men will be voting for Kamala Harris. There's some after they heard this stuff on Sunday who were probably on the fence who are going to be voting for Kamala Harris. The one thing that they don't talk enough about, and Jazzy and I have had this conversation, is the real tipping point, the real group of people we need to tip over are white women.
Yeah.
That's the tipping point.
And if the polls Elise, if the polls are right, if the indicators are right, white women realize, and they are coming out in droves. I really believe, there's the religious white women that are going to stick to their guns because they don't believe in women in power. They don't believe in women having leadership. That's all that religious jargon and those areas. But there is, every white woman I know, and I have a big community of white women right in my building, in my neighbors. Every one of them that I know is voting for Kamala, and many of them says, and when you read their reports on some of the testimonies, they said we made the mistake with Hillary. We will not make the mistake again.
And
what's going on? Do I hear subway? Do I hear a train?
Can I add, because I gotta go. But to that, and here's where my encouragement. Sunday, and I've shared this before, but I'll say it again. Sunday, the last 12 houses that I knocked on, I don't know if it was the universe or what, all white women. The age range was, I think the youngest was like 42, early 40s to late 60s. Each and every one of these white women said that they were voting for her, and were like either doing this to me or just telling me like, we have a questionnaire in the app when you're canvassing, and they said just whatever it is, just say yes for Kamala, but I need you to go away. My husband, he's voting for the orange one, and I'm hearing that the more I get out closer to the election, compared to when she was at the top of the when she first got at the top of the ticket. I had maybe one in a Blue Moon house that was like that. Now it's gotten more frequent, and so to me that says something. So I just hope that that's being replicated other places. But I got to go. I hope I
see you,
contributed.
buddy.
All right.
Go get my little one. All right.
Trish asked the question, do you think money donated at this point will help? Yes. 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 We have 5 days still to go. A lot of the money that is, because what's great about people voting early is that it allows the people that work with the election,
The campaign.
to know the campaign, right? The campaign to know where to put resources.
Right.
And we still need to put money towards a lot of the Senate races, like in Florida.
Right.
We still need to put money towards the race in Texas. So these are key. Because Kamala can't do what she needs to do unless she has a Congress. That means the Senate and the House of Representatives together, so they can now reverse what they did for to make sure that women get their rights again, to do rights of their bodies. So yes, money does matter even to the last day.
Yeah, we need to get those seats back in the House from New York and California.
Yes.
Get those congressional houses back.
Janet's comment, just to add on, is perfect. The Dems are going to need lots of money for legal expenses afterwards, because this is not going to be over on November 6th. This is going to go right up until Inauguration Day.
Yeah,
similar to 2020.
Because he's already saying they're cheating in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trying to set that up. So he feels like he's losing Pennsylvania. So
but the problem is that not one vote has been counted yet, and yet still he's claiming victory in so many different places. You've got governors saying, we don't need to count him. We're just going to give it to him anyway. Like, that's illegal. That is illegal, and you're actually saying that out loud.
That's what they said in North Carolina. The delegates, well, since these red counties were so affected, we just might as well give him the delegates.
Yes.
Now, how are you going to do that?
In North Carolina, that
need
crazy
to lose
person.
your job.
Yes, I heard that.
And they're saying this stuff on camera.
Right, they've been recorded.
At least it calls the husbands, the Stepford husbands. The Stepford husbands. Here's another one. Then we're gonna go to our nostalgia moment. So hold on, we got one more before. I just want to see, just again on this subject, something devastating happened. This was on Rachel Maddow. She put it out this morning, I think yesterday. 9 days after her death, Barnika's husband was processing his shock, learning how to be a single dad, and struggling to raise funds to bury his wife and the son he had hoped to raise. And this was so sad because she was on the operating table. The baby, or what we gonna call the embryo? The fetus. Thank you. The fetus had already passed away. It was already dead, and they could not get the baby out, and they had complications, and the doctors would not do anything because they did not want to go to jail.
Oh, yeah.
It's
crazy. That's insane.
It's insane where we are in this country. Women's health is so, we got to protect, and I'll go back, like they said, we'll keep repeating, we got to protect women. We have to protect women.
That goes against a doctor's oath to do no wrong.
Yes.
That's exactly what came to my mind, Chris.
It goes against their
oath.
Yeah, it goes against their oath.
How can you have that conflicting? I mean, I feel for these doctors in a way because like you're really stuck between a rock and a rock, not a hard place, but two rocks. And it's like, do you do your job, the oath that you gave as a doctor, you work your entire life for, or do you do that, or you go to jail for helping someone to survive? Like, if every doctor just stood in solidarity and said, you know what, the hell with this, we're going to do what we are supposed to do, you can't put them all in jail.
Yeah, if all the doctors, well, also a lot of doctors are leaving these states, and that doesn't hurt the men. That hurts the women.
Right.
It hurts the women not having gynecologists and the people to help them with their health care. So
let me tell you something. Just take it for the Viagra, and then you'll see a difference.
Stop paying for it.
Say that it's illegal to get Viagra, and see how men will rise up.
And
I want to also
subsidizing it, because one of the things they want to get rid of the subsidizing of birth control pills.
Well, that's next.
But you subsidize Viagra. Stop subsidizing it. Make them pay the hundreds of dollars or say that it's not good.
But it's a man's world.
Kim
That's not gonna happen.
I know you want to go to the other thing, but Kim put a point that we haven't talked about.
Oh, what's that?
And that was the secret. The secret. She asked about what was the secret.
Oh, the secret. Oh,
and they have that clip of John, the head of the house talking about Johnson.
Oh, Mike Johnson, yeah.
Mike Johnson talking about getting rid of
it was recorded.
Affordable Health Care Act, all the things they want to get rid of, all of the regulations, want to privatize things. That was and he was somebody's secret. So they have people who are infiltrating all these.
Yes.
And here's who Trump is going to put in charge of doing that. RFK.
Yes, the crazy man. The
crazy no big secret there.
So Kim, that's really what they were talking about, and the fact that they want to get rid of it, which means that because a part of Project 2025 is to get rid of medical covering people who have pre-existing conditions. They want to get rid of the limit on the take away Medicare's ability to negotiate drug prices. That's what they want to get rid of. And that's what they're planning to do. And Mike Johnson is out there because for whatever reason, the state of Louisiana, he didn't have any opposition. So he's not worried about his thing. But he's out there. It's not such a secret that what they're doing. And so that's what they're looking at. They want to deregulate everything and definitely go after people's health care. They don't have anything in place, and they want to privatize stuff. He talks about privatizing things, which means that you're going to pay extra money.
And again, 45 million people depend on the health care that we have now.
Health care.
Yes, 45 million.
And that's why I would tell people never call it Obamacare. It's the Affordable Health Care Act, because the people who don't want to get rid of it don't understand that that's what it is. But if you say Obamacare, they think they want to get rid of it. But if you tell them that it's the Affordable Health Care Act, the reason they have health care, the reason your 26-year-old college student can stay on your health care until their child can stay on to their 26, is the Affordable Health Care Act. And so people need to understand that's the part of it. And Kim, if you go, you can probably find the clip of Mike Johnson talking about it.
Yeah, that was really crazy. And also, so we got that. Thank you, Kim, for bringing that up, because that was, I forgot to put that on the list. There was a lot going on this week, a whole lot going on this week. But I want to say, and I think I mentioned it briefly as I was getting ready for my interview yesterday with Mike, Kamala at the ellipse.
Yes.
That was a moment. If you could not see her as president before that, and you saw her speech on the ellipse, taking back the image of the ellipse, the last thing we saw was Trump and his craziness.
Right.
And she took back the power of the American people, of the power of the ellipse, and that place, right. And made it a new memory for the ellipse, and it was well done. Did any of you guys see the ellipse speech?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Tanja said she was there. Get nice.
I couldn't get there. I was like,
75,000 people. Let's talk about those crowd numbers.
75,000 people.
And guess what? There was no hatred there.
No
I
hatred.
I have friends who went down there. It was nice. It was peaceful. There was no name calling. Nobody calling anybody anything. Just peaceful event with a great speech for her. She gave a great speech, and there's some excellent ads out there too.
I thought you were going to be out there, Lise.
I had before finding out she was going to be here Tuesday. I had already scheduled an interview, an online interview.
That's right, because you were doing your interview. That's right. I was going between the two. I had both of them on at the same time.
Like, it had not been for that, I would have been down there real early.
Yes. I was like, and guys, and again, I mentioned I follow speeches of presidents and VPs, and I have a book called The Preamble, and it has a collection of all these amazing speeches for that have been by important people to America. So that is one of those speeches that when they do the revised copy, because they revise it every 10 years.
Right.
Kamala's speech is going to be in there.
Oh, absolutely.
It was one of the best speeches. I know it really fall out and start boohooing, but I was choked up 3 times during that speech. 3 times. Tears were about to come down my face, and I was like, get a grip, Ron, get a grip. Also, probably I would have had the tears, but I was distracting because I was not only looking at that, I was looking at Elise and her interview, which if you have not seen that, Elise, we got to get you on YouTube.
Look, I'm working on it.
Because these interviews need to be on YouTube so that people can just go right to it and enjoy your interviews with your guests. Yeah. But it was absolutely amazing. Tanja says that was her best speech to date. Man, she's getting better and better.
And as they said, that was her what is it? The closing.
That's the closing speech.
You have people talk about weird stuff about, if she moves her hands, and one man broke it down. He said, so in law school, you learn how to use your hands.
That's right.
Even as a debater, you learn how to use your hands.
That's right.
You learn, that's a part of the whole thing. That's how you make points. Some people don't use them as well. Some people don't do it as well.
Oh wait, I had the little thing on you like this.
Some people don't use their hands as well as others. But I think great that because I heard the Republican couple that came out, the farmers from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
I heard them before when they did a video. They did a clip on TikTok or something.
Yes.
And the fact that he has been a lifelong Republican.
Yes.
And that he could not do that again. His wife was like, he said his wife learned after the first time.
Yes.
And then now he's doing it. And I think and what you see there are a lot of Republicans who aren't public figures.
Yes.
Who are not voting for him, but voting for Kamala Harris. They're not just writing in a dead like Hogan from Maryland. They're not writing somebody dead in instead of voting for Harris. So Maryland, we got to make sure Maryland gets their Senate race too.
How's it looking in Maryland? I hear she's doing good. The woman that's running against Hogan.
Well, some polls say she's doing good. Some say they're neck and neck. But honestly, I think the more they really get the information out about him, is that he wanted to do some things about women's reproductive rights. He just didn't have the opportunity because he was controlled by Democratic and so that he couldn't get some of the things out. And of course, the commercials they use also show that he was hand chosen by Mitch McConnell.
Yes, right.
So they're using that, and it really becomes money because a lot of rich people are infusing money into his campaign. And she has to really be grassroots because, Yeah, and other than somebody big. But I think it's a lot of things that we have to pay attention to. Bloomberg just gave Kamala Harris $50 million to her campaign. I think those kinds of things are important as well.
Well, Chris has to go, right? Chris,
I gotta jump on. I got a work call I gotta jump on right now.
Okay, buddy. So I'll see you.
So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow we have, speaking of tomorrow, we have a special guest coming on tomorrow. We're going to be doing an interview. Chris, you can go. And we're going to have Butch Quick on tomorrow. He's an amazing photographer. He's going to be on our Focus Friday. And but yeah, so I just wanted to share that with about Kamala. And I had my buddy was here from Namibia, who's giving me a whole new ideas about where do I want to live later on. And so I have to say, Paris is now out. Namibia, Africa is in. So I am looking at some plans. He was here. He was here for 2 days, and we just had such a great time. And I wanted to bring up one thing that I thought was so important, and we'll have that. And it was like, the world is watching us,
absolutely,
the United States, and so many people around the world are saying, "What is going on in America?" And when they look at these people that are in the Trump camp, most people around the world are terrified.
Yes, they are.
Of what's happening here. This is not an election for just America. This is an election for the world.
Absolutely.
And the world is watching us. And so I just wanted to just bring that up. My buddy was like, he says he's in Namibia, Namibia, Africa. For those that don't know where Namibia is the country next door to South Africa, at the very bottom of Africa. So it used to be called West South Africa, and then they got their independence thanks to Fidel Castro. Castro helped them to get their independence. That's why they love him so much in Namibia. Namibia was also colonized by the Germans. The Germans massacred their people, told them they need to get off the land or they will die.
Right.
And Germans murdered thousands and thousands of Namibian tribal people, indigenous people. And so it has an amazing history. Most people don't even know about Namibia, but it's an amazing place. And I spent time there. So I'm going to just go down there for about a month at some point. And so I'll be down there and we'll do our show from Namibia, whatever time I have to do it. But I just want to get a feel of what the country is like and what's going on. So as I make these decisions, like I said, if Kamala wins, I'm still sticking to my 2-year plan. Right. So I'm just getting things settled and get things right and build my, all the things I need to do. And
I think, when you go whenever she comes on live, you see the world come in there because people are coming from, are telling her from different countries that they support her.
Yes.
They know what it means to them as a country. They know what all of this means. And we can't sugarcoat this at this point. We cannot sugarcoat what this means to the world, what it means to us and the world. And I like the fact that it was someone recently really pointing out what it means to the folks that you want to fight for in Gaza and the Palestinians, and how this going to be far worse if she doesn't win, because you won't have a voice. You won't be able to have a conversation.
That's right. Palestinians need to wake up. Look, at least you can talk to her, but you will not be you don't have a chance. And I keep saying, the Palestinian supporters, if you love Palestine, if you love the Palestinians, you need to vote for Hillary. You need to vote for Kamala. Because let me tell you, you do not have a chance, because Netanyahu and Trump they're from the same fabric. And they're brothers in crime.
And they're already having a conversation.
They've already had the conversation, because
Giuliani got on that stage and said what he said on Sunday. And I hope they didn't miss that. But I like the fact, I told you the other day, I like the fact that in Dearborn, Michigan, they are sitting down together. The Arab community is sitting down together, and there's that group that said we're voting for Kamala Harris because we want to be able to have dialogue. We want to be able to talk, and they know that's not going to happen with Bibi. It's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
He's already doing what he wants to do, and then he's going to be emboldened by him to do what he wants to do, because Jared Kushner and all of them, they already have plans for that land.
They got plans. They got plans. That's why he destroyed it.
Yeah.
They got plans. Okay. The last thing of the day, nostalgic moment. You know how we have our nostalgic moments on Thursdays and Fridays. And this one is, how did you spend your childhood Halloween? Since I was a church boy, we weren't allowed to do Halloween for a period. My mother was like, at first when we were kids, before she got into make sure we were at church and all that stuff, we could go and do Halloween. We went to our neighbors. But then as in New York, there was a season that Halloween became dangerous. Yeah. But we used to love to go to our neighbors. And did any of you guys dress up in costumes? Who was your favorite? What did you do? And also, I would like to know, who was your costume? Who was your favorite costume as a child? Mine was Batman.
Well, you grew up in a different time, so we didn't have favorites like that. It was like, can we cut up this sheet and put something on and be a ghost? And then because of where I lived in Alabama, it's like, so we walked for miles collecting candy. And I was telling my husband the other day when we were walking, I said, one of the things I would do, like pomegranates were in season at the time on this one person's tree. And it was like maybe a mile or two away from literally we walked miles for on Halloween. And they had those pomegranates were right.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we would get a pomegranate from that tree.
Oh, look at this. Kelly A says, we would have parties at the church bobbing for apples. I remember that too. Yes, we did. We had bobbing for apples at my church on Halloween. We did. Oh, that's an interesting.
My children would probably tell you a different story, because when they after Halloween, something happened one night. And my middle child got frightened.
Really?
They went to somebody's house. After that, I was like, well, we're not doing Halloween. We're not doing
we ain't doing Halloween no more. Well, I used to like the bobbing for apples until I saw people with their saliva was being in the water.
All the backwash.
I was like, oh, look. I mean, when the person would grab for the apples, I was like, wait. I was a germaphobe early on in life. So I remember all those faces in the water. Do they bob for apples any longer now that we're in the germ world?
You probably don't.
I don't think anyone does bobbing for apples.
Probably not. I would never.
Oh my gosh.
You
yes.
never did bobbing for apples.
So Trish says she was a ghost, of course. And I see here when I was really, Mimi said, when I was really young, we didn't have costumes. We were big 6 dominoes.
Okay.
And we have Cass. She says she was Casper, cheerleader, and Cat.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kimmy says, yes, we made costumes. It didn't seem as the costume business was as big as it is now. It wasn't. When we were growing up, we made our costumes, or we got those little masks, or we got the little cape.
Right.
It was just for the kids. Now, you go to if you're in New York City, there's 5 stores that sell costumes, and the adults are lined up.
Oh yeah, they love
for a block getting their costumes.
They love costumes.
It's a big industry now. Jazzy says, I used to go to the neighborhood called Somerset. It was full of rich people who would give you money. Really?
Now that's a good one. Just give you that money.
Give you money, trick or treat, dollars.
Look, my favorite, I always laugh because people talk about candies. My favorite candy was candy corn.
You and those candy corns. I hate those candy corns.
Pop, pop, pop.
I hated those candy corns. That was the worst candy. When I saw those things go into the bag, I was like, ugh. I felt like a loser.
Candy corns. Pop. I would get them after later on when they go 50% off after Halloween.
You
I
go
was
get
going
them.
my bag.
Oh my
With
gosh.
pure sugar.
That is so sweet.
It is.
It is so sweet. Kat says, I had the plastic Barbie mask.
Oh yeah, that's what they had, those plastic masks. Those masks were horrible.
They were hard. They would cut your face. They would cut your face. Lisa says costumes from that box with the mask under plastic, pillowcase for candy. No candy eaten until my parents checked it and then ate what they wanted. Then we got the rest, avoiding apples with razor blades. Remember, there was a time when people were putting razor blades in apples. How cruel can people be? There's always been evil people among us, right?
Always.
Trish says, Ron, warmest Halloween in 89 years. New York City will have the warmest Halloween today. If it gets to 81 or 82, the warmest in history.
It's supposed to be that way here as well.
Yeah, the warmest. People are going to, I'm photographing. So guys, tune in later on. I will be live from the Halloween parade this evening.
Okay.
So I will be live from the Halloween parade. And I don't know what I'll see to this evening because usually people are dressed to stay warm. People may not have clothes on.
You're gonna see some wild stuff. The costumes will all be out there.
I may get banned off YouTube. I don't know. I gotta make sure I'm panning in the right direction.
It's gonna be some outfits out there, Ron.
Well, it may be the lack of.
My husband's thrill is he gets this big bag of candy, put it in his little pumpkin jack-o'-lantern bucket so he can give out candy. And very few kids come to our house. So I can't eat chocolate. I'm allergic to chocolate.
Oh,
so he bought a bag of miniature paydays. So he said that's what I bought for you for Halloween.
I love me some chocolate. But again, I'm very picky. When I was a kid, my mother, she went through the candy, just like Lisa said, went through all the candy, make sure we weren't allowed to touch that candy until we brought it home, put it on the dining room table, and my mother would shift through it all, check it all, and then she says you can eat it. Kimmy says it's called Spirit Halloween stores. Yes. And what they're pop-up stores all around the country, I think. But I know here in New York City and Jersey and Connecticut, you see Spirit Halloween stores. And they usually are in old department stores that have closed or places like strip malls. And they converted them to what they call Spirit Halloween stores. And people go and buy all their Halloween costumes.
That's what they would do in Silver Spring. They didn't do it this year. And for people who have children who are collecting candy, definitely make sure you tell them don't eat anything until you inspect that candy because there are also drugs that look like candy.
Yes.
And to make sure because people do have ill intent sometimes. So you have to make sure you check for that.
Man. So Adrian also had bobbing for apples at church. See, there we go. We were the bobbers, right? But now I ain't gonna go in that. I would never bob my face in that water now.
They probably don't even have it now. They just
don't do it now. I'm sure they don't do it. The church probably said we ain't doing this. We ain't not liable. Kimmy's with you, Elise. I love candy corns too, but anything chocolate was hands up. Rosemary's in the building. She says, "Hello, Ron, Elise," and I see here candy corn flavor. People love this candy corn. I didn't know it's honey. Anyway, Adrian says, then I realized that other people spit was in the water. Geez, that's right. And no thank you immediately. I was like, no more apples after I saw people slobbing in the water. Yes, I was that person, Adrian.
Backwash is real.
Oh my gosh. We have had Mimi says we have had no rain. It's dry, so be careful out there. It is. We got sprinkles the other day, so they said that broke our drought, like a streak of 29 days straight with no rain. But it is still dry, and also I was walking the sidewalks, and because people don't like to curb their dogs, so there's all sorts of stuff on the streets, and I'm like, so please watch your steps because we haven't had rain to wash the streets away, to wash the dirt and all the stuff. New York City could be a dirty place if we don't get rain. Jazzy says, my mom brought a witch hat for us when we were in the 3rd grade. That was our forever costume. That hat and a black turtleneck. That's right. I remember my sister had one. we had a rain overnight early in California. Trish, lucky you guys with the rain. Adrian says, I was a cheerleader and a gypsy. I made them with old clothes. And I see here that he says, but these days I shut all the lights in my house, shut the lights off, and ignore the door, and ignore the doorbell like those kids are Jehovah's Witnesses. We don't, this, you know what? I mean, there are kids in my building, but what they've done in our building is that you have a little sign, like you put a little something on the front of the door to say, I'm participating in Halloween. But most of the time, I'm not home. I'm never home on Halloween. Can't wait, Ron. So she's gonna be tuning into the parade later on.
Yeah.
Mid-80s in Texas. Woo! It's gonna be hot in Texas
Always
too.
hot in Texas.
It's always hot in Texas. Oh yes. Oh
Candy
wait.
apples.
Candy apples. Remember those? Man, I used to think I was gonna break my teeth.
I know those red candy apples.
Oh, those red candy apples. Oh my gosh, they were so good. And Lisa, me too. She says, and caramel apples are delicious.
That's
and
when I started liking cinnamon candy, was those red caramel apples.
See, Adrian and I are sister and brother. Adrian, New York City. She and I are sister and brother. She says, boo on the candy corns.
I just don't know. Those candy corns are good. There's so many closeted candy corn eaters out here.
She said, when did the dentist start buying your candy? Oh, my goodness. And Cass says, they were fun to make candy apples. We used to make those babies. And I see here, true gummies. Now, I love me some gummies. I love gummies. Woolworths had the box costumes. Yes, right. We had to have those costumes. And let's see. We got the full bats with this. We got the full bats of candy. No minus. Okay. Bobbing for apples is so grass when you think that.
So gross.
So gross. Yeah, so gross. There we go. Trader Joe's has a great bag of Halloween candy, 4 kinds of chocolate knockoffs. And Brian says, where everybody's been going out on Halloween parties, please be safe. Don't drink or drive. Yes, Mr. Bryson. Again, Anthony says he likes candy corns too. My goodness.
Anthony knows.
Oh my goodness. Kimmy says, going out with the grands in my son's neighborhood, mixed neighborhood, neighbors out of steps, giving out candy, socializing with the neighbors, and some with cocktails. Oh my goodness. Trish says, yuck. And then we go on. And Brian's reminding us that also, Bryson is reminding us that daylight saving time ends on Sunday. So set your clocks back. We fall back this weekend. Dog it. It's going to be dark early.
That's right.
We're already in the dark season. Oh, gosh. And Chris says, we finally got rain during the night in Northern California. Wow. Lucky you. We have not gotten rain here in New York.
Had any in DC in a while.
See here, they used to taste like, what's that? She said they used to taste like cinnamon. No, it tastes like nothing but red sugar nowadays. Yep.
Oh yeah, the candy apples used to be melted cinnamon candies.
Yes.
Red dye. I guess I don't eat those. I'll eat a caramel apple though.
Trish says she's also, Ron, I'm hosting a photo group on Saturday to shoot the monarch butterflies. Wow. Northern California Women's Photographer Group. Wow. That must be a sight. Yes, they migrate this time of the year.
Oh, that should be beautiful.
That should be really beautiful. Lisa says, my teeth can't take those apple anymore. And candy corn is so gross. So there's another grocer.
That's all right with me. I love
So there you have it, guys. Let's get off here. Let's get back to work. And it is time to let you guys go back to work. I had fun with you all today.
Go to work.
Get to work. And so again, make sure that you are we'll be here tomorrow. We have a guest on tomorrow, and we'll be doing also Focus Friday, which is focusing on accounts that inspire, encourage, and bless us.
Look,
So
and I'll be gone all next week.
You'll be gone. A lot of you guys are leaving on vacation. Chris will be going on vacation. You'll be on vacation. Lisa, you should come and be a panel person. You should be on the panel.
Yes, Lisa, you should.
Anthony Rowland, you could be a panel person. Y'all should be panelists.
Yes. Where has Adrian been? I haven't seen him lately.
Adrian, I think Adrian must have taken a call. He must have got back to work. Got back to work. Yeah. Sometimes his job will call him, and he's works from home. So
yeah.
So here we are. We're all here. And guys, thank you for joining. Yeah, this was great. Thank you guys for joining in. For those that participated, your comments are always wanted. It is great to hear your point of view. That's why we are here as a community, to continue to grow as a community, to bring awareness to what's going on. And so hopefully I'm going to put all that information inside the description, so you'll have all the links to all the different videos on YouTube and Instagram. And and Trish says she'll be packing for a new country also. So a bunch of people are leaving and going away. So guys, have a safe trip. Elise, have a safe trip.
Absolutely. I got my mosquito spray and everything. I got my mosquito repellent. I'm ready. Got my shots. I'm gonna start my malaria pill tomorrow.
Those malaria. Speaking of malaria pills, make sure when you do malaria pills, because I used to take malaria pills all the time when I was in Africa. Make sure you take probiotics, like things that are going to increase your good bacteria, because the malaria pills will destroy all of your good bacteria in your stomach. So you need to make sure that you have the good bacteria continue to grow. So you need to eat probiotics.
I'll go get me some yogurt today.
Yeah, make sure that you
recommend that you take it with food or milk. So
but you want to get the good bacteria. Keep it going, because it will wipe out your immune system as it kills off everything else.
Maybe I'll pick up some products to take with me.
Yeah,
you take it for a few days. I know I take it starting tomorrow and Saturday, because those will be 2 days before I actually get there.
Yeah, when I used to have the malaria pills, I would go to the vitamin shop, and they would have those probiotic pills, and I would just take one every day, just to keep my good bacteria in place.
Yeah, I'll get some. So because my nieces I know will have it, so I'll share with them.
Elise, Trish says, where are you going?
I'm going to Accra, Ghana.
Accra, my favorite city.
Yeah.
My favorite city. And make sure you go to the Slave Castle, go to Elmina, go to Cape Coast, if you can get a chance to go north, go to Kibi. I got a long list for you.
We're going to Kumasi for the naming ceremony.
Oh, you going? Really? That's a beautiful. I've never been. I heard it's beautiful there.
Yeah, we're going there. So that should be great.
You're going to have a great time. Are you guys going to Cape Coast?
Look, Ryan, I have to read all of that.
Okay. So it's a tour. Okay. So you cannot go to Ghana without going to the slave castles. So you will be there.
And they're located where?
They're on the Cape Coast.
Okay. So
it's just go from Accra. It's a 2-hour drive to Cape Coast along what they call the Cape Coast. And you go out and you'll see Elmina, which is the oldest slave castle in the world by the Portuguese. And then you have the British slave castle, which is right there in Cape Coast.
Yeah, I know we're doing some tours, but we'll only be in hotels. The hotels will only be in Accra, and we'll travel from there.
Yeah, so you probably do day trips. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a wonderful Halloween, and I'll see you later on from New York City's Halloween parade. See you later. Bye-bye.